Order for John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, was also Akikan who Bioma Meno Kasa Order for Sisiano, allowances be more the ministers and as appointees on when join John Dramani Mahama is a Meno Casano. Wa cancel in order for yes, ye build the economy. No, John Dramani Mahama is a Meno Casano. Wa cancel never be brea the ministers and na appointees no more enjoy for momenko na yanko di sanse munyina enchiremu our Ghanatube near Magisia.
It's just coming from the presidency. We want to bring you that update quite shortly. It's a part of the cost-cutting measures that government is implementing. So this is from the presidency communications dated Tuesday, that's today, July 15, 2025. President Mahama scraps fuel allowance or allocation to appointees. And the statement reads, President John Dramani Mahama has effectively immediately directed the cancellation of payments of fuel allowances and allocation of fuel to all political appointees. The directive forms part of a broader curb in government expenditure aimed at cutting costs and channeling public funds into priority areas. The president believes that leadership must also bear its part of the sacrifices it is calling on the people to make. The latest cost-cutting measure follows sweeping reductions in the size of government through the appointment of fewer ministers and presidential office staff. Other measures have included stopping satellite TV subscriptions for offices at the presidency and other government facilities. And that statement is signed by Felix Kwachi, Ofosu MP. He's the spokesperson to the president and the Minister for Government Communications. And so if you are just joining, the news is that the presidency has announced that fuel allocation to political appointees have been cancelled as part of the cost-cutting measures that are being implemented by government. And I'm sure we will return to the Chief Justice conversation, but Nana, you know, this is just like the earlier issue we were talking about. People make the point that sometimes political appointees, you go for events and the minister or the MP is in the attending the event, and you come outside and in the car, the engine is on. I mean,
sometimes I wonder,
firing, and I've heard people justify to say that like the weather is hot, so when he comes out, the conditions have to be the same as he was inside. But now with this directive coming from the presidency, I mean, if you do that, your pocket will bleed. I mean, good move.
You know, when you've attended weddings and funerals where food is free. And it's a buffet, the plate people pick is different from when they themselves. So I think that, yes, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. I think that once they have they receive their salaries, and I stand to be corrected. I think that there are some of the pay slips that when you look at the items on it includes fuel allowance,
yeah.
And so what they give them as the fuel coupons and others, it's an addition. And so the president has not taken anything from them. It is just trying to say that, listen, we need to be able to reduce expenditure. If we are saying we are reducing the size of government, it's not just about the size of the government, it's about the operational cost, because that is what we are fighting. And if fuel allowance is part of the operational cost and government decides to reduce it, I think it's a call in the right direction, and the president has done.
Let me just pick a few thoughts before I return to you on the Chief Justice conversation. And Doc, I mean, the political appointees, they will tell you that some of these perks, if you call it that way, are the things that make them enjoy the political office a bit because of the pressure on them. I mean, their salaries, they have to attend funerals, they have to pay people's school fees. There's a lot of burden on them, and their salaries can't support all those commitments. And so this is a way of at least the fuel that used to run around there. But I mean, it's also going off.
Yes, I think you're talking to the wrong person. I government appointee with fuel allowance. I have said openly, even here, that I think that we have to take a look at the resource envelope, the money we used, emoluments generally, and redistribute within that envelope. I think that if you look at the inequality, when you look at the public sector wages, those at the top take versus what happens at the bottom, it is unquestionable. You know, so this is a step in the right direction. You know, in other places, we've worked for if you work for the government, you are given your salary. Go and buy your own petrol. You know, I think that it's time we did that.
Okay.
You know, and I believe that those who are in those positions, if they really in accord with what the reset agenda we are told is, they should agree with their boss. You know, I think that if President Mahama feels, you know, strongly about this, then he has thought about it. I'm sure he has thought about it, and
it's a lot of money.
And it's a lot of money, and I think it's in the right direction.
Theo, I mean, public officials, some of them are given official vehicles. I mean, if I'm to do my own budget.
Other four, you see a step in the right direction. You see John Dramani Mahama, a cancellation now. What cancel? Just a full on. You see, I know your government appointee ya. See to your car. One kasa for salary, nine kasa for koto full. Na febu kamu. Sa V8 na. See a tofu or mama, buy it tofu or mamma. Na just a moja mu engine is soon as a consumer, not just a more filling station and Mako Buni free, full coupon near the mamu free. See, I John Dramani Mahama, tin don't time with training in him. You see, what you was salary. Now one kasa waka koto full. Now their power and kasa oka or the four. When you're breaking news about to jack a sea, just Obiaka Mwasema, you see a step in the right direction. And I'm making in our bro, I will Ghanatube the four often say. Niamana John Dramani Mahama why you know a step in the right direction, and I see and you see, oh yeah, government appointing it to your car for one kasa salary ni febi fakoto fu na fegu kamu. It is a one kasa odu sika etofu ogu kamu. Na so beja engine ti swa the whole day there a wawa sem. Ti John Dramani Mahama de osi. Boso no so ebe to your car na for one kasa usika ni bi fakoto fu or for. So better engineer so unja engineer so John Dramani Mahama ne directive or the about see and breaking news am so beginning na bro Ghanatube for my call na yanko to answer so Ghanatube na this year.
Maybe from my pocket I would want to use a smaller, very small car, but you've given me a powerful car, my official vehicle. I mean,
no, I think this is about political appointees. Yes, and my only worry about the directive is post His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
How are we going to sustain it? And on NDC government, would they say that let's leave that thing that he did and let's do our own? That's my only worry. But this is, you see, when you take care of the pennies, the pounds will take care of itself. So when we are taking care of the pesos, the cities will take care of the itself by the little things that we do. So I think it's a step in the right direction. It's a good call by His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama, and I think let us all just embrace it. But sometimes the fuel coupon is so misused that you see political appointees giving it to their boys and girls down there. They'll give them coupons.
Why did you start with boys?
Okay, giving it to some
but
people.
he's covered both. He said boys and girls. I think
Why did I? So let me change.
Okay, girls and boys.
No, you give it to people down there.
Would they give me full coupon?
As long as you are close to a political appointee, you might get a girl one of 50 cities or 100 cities, and your day is made or your week is made. Imagine giving a full coupon of 100 cities to one of your boys riding Okada. That will take him maybe 2-3 days and a week, and he will be so happy with you.
Okay.
That's the other side of it. Some use it very well as well, but as Doc said, I think we need to do a redistribution to have a proper balance, so that somebody doesn't see a politician and feels that if I don't become a politician, I cannot make it in life.
Okay.
I think and the Monuments Commission is we need to rationalize our public sector wages and level things up, and allow people to make their own expenses, and you pay them and let them do what they want to do.
Okay.
Live where they want to live, drive what they want to drive, within their means.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And I think there should be a way to monitor some of these directives.
Yeah.
That is what is most important. I mean, the president has issued a directive. Now, whether or not it's going to be followed, who is there to monitor? Now, it means that the president would have to instruct that the fuel allocations that are in the budgets of these ministries and agencies are monitored. I mean, if today we say that they shouldn't take it any longer or they shouldn't be issued, it means that the fuel allocations to these agencies would have to drop. You understand me? And those finance guys, the accountants, should be held responsible if we do not see a drastic reduction in that particular item on their budgets. So,
Okay.
so there should be a system in where we would have to monitor.
All right.
I mean, we have $10 million to pay, so we have to be.
I'll come to you shortly on the issues around the $10 million. But if you are just tuning in, I mean, the news that we've just brought to you and we've discussed has to do with the president's scrapping fuel allowance and allocation to appointees. I want to just take that statement for the last time, just so that you know what we are talking about. President John Mahama has effectively immediately directed the cancellation of payment of fuel allowances and allocation of fuel to all political appointees. The directive forms part of a broader curb in government expenditure aimed at cutting costs and channeling public funds into priority areas. The president believes that leadership must also bear its part of the sacrifices it is calling on the people to make. The latest cost-cutting measure follows sweeping reductions in the size of government through the appointment of fewer ministers and presidential office staff. Other measures have included stopping satellite TV subscriptions for offices at the presidency and other government facilities. And so that is it by way of news just coming in there. And you've heard the comments from my panelist this morning. I want to return to Nana to wrap up on the Chief Justice conversation for us so that we move on to the second topic there. I mean, what do you make of all that is playing out? I see you've written the $10 million.
Out of foreign breaking news, I bet you James beginning in our bro, Ghanatube, the former review bell like, subscribe and share, no my notification bell, so I might send a bear. I bring here, BBA, drop here content, when you need to I should with him for aha. And I made the John Dramani Mahama breaking news, or the Abeto Janin in a base, Ghanatube, Macamunina, Medamunina.